The Relevant Recruiter Show. I'm Donnie Gupton, and today we're going to talk about how to stand out and become the relevant recruiter in your market. So as we get this thing going and we wait for some of y'all to join, go ahead and give me some likes and comments. Let me know that you can hear me by just dropping a comment in the chat below that you've got me and that we're live here. Like I said, today we're going to talk about how to stand out and differentiate yourself in the marketplace. So we're going to really cover this in five steps. One, we're going to kind of identify what the biggest threat to your recruiting business is right now. From there, we're going to show you how to know if you are being impacted by that right now, how to fix that, what that looks like, and what the benefits of executing something like this are. So if you're just joining me right now, give me a like, love, little tap. Let me know that you're here. And go ahead and go into the comments right now and just drop what your biggest challenge is or what your biggest fear is around your recruiting business. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. So the biggest threat facing most recruiting companies right now is really the threat of commoditization, being a commodity, being a part of the group, just being another recruiter. And, you know, where we sit right now in the market or where we were a couple of months ago with so much overload of job orders, you know, standing out in the marketplace really wasn't important because there's so much work to go around that a lot of folks were just taking advantage of a hot economy. It's pretty easy to get job orders, but you know, there's rumors and rumblings about maybe a recession or downturn. Not here to talk about that, but to get ahead of something like that, it's very important you have a client acquisition system in place and that you're not just leveraging your relationships, not that you're not just leveraging a hot economy. And I saw this happen last time when COVID hit. A lot of people that I spoke to prior to COVID said they were good. Everything was good. They had great relationships, had no need for a system. And then once COVID hit and their normal, you know, status quo of their business went away, they were left kind of scrambling. And so here's just some steps that you can take to kind of stay ahead of that if another downturn or when another downturn comes, because markets are obviously, you know, cyclical. So commodity is the biggest threat to your business. And a commodity is when you look the same as the next recruiter, if you act the same as the next recruiter, if you sound the same as the next recruiter, you are going to be by definition a commodity. And if you are of the thinking that, hey, all recruiters are the same, there's no way to differentiate yourself, you are a commodity. But some of the things that really kind of, you know, can help you wrap your mind around this is if you find yourself competing against multiple recruiters on your roles. If that's the case, then the hiring managers and the hiring decision makers that you're working with just don't value you as being, you know, somebody that's relevant in the marketplace. They just view you as somebody that can put a body in the seat. Okay. And when we're viewed that way, oftentimes we can stay busy, but we're not near making the same amount of money that we possibly could be out there. The other thing is if you're finding it hard to penetrate and grow your existing accounts, that would be another sign that you are facing commoditization and that you're viewed as a commodity in the marketplace. Okay, is if you're getting the job orders, but you're not really growing the account, you're not able to get the repeat business. Yes, that can have to do with your ability to deliver, but that also has to do with the light that you're hiring decision makers and managers viewing them. Okay, so those are some of the signs. Is if you're heavily competing, you're competing against price. If every time you're coming up to your hiring manager and they're trying to negotiate your fee, again, they're just viewing you as another recruiter. So if you want to increase your fees, if you want to be viewed and truly build partnerships with your clients, and what you need to do is you need to learn how to stand out and differentiate yourself. Now, this has nothing to do with your ability to do the job. There are so many great recruiters that are incredible at the actual job of recruiting, but they're awful at being able to market themselves and put themselves out there. And at the end of the day, the thing that might be frustrating for most people is somebody that can market better than you, can get more business than you, and you can do the job better than them. So it's really important that you focus on how you can stand out and become the relevant recruiter in your market. So here's how you're going to go about doing that. Okay. The first thing that we want to do to stand out is really know who our ideal customer is. And working with hundreds of recruiting firms, I've found that this is one of the most overlooked things out there. And the reason is because of just how this industry and how most people are brought up in this industry. It's kind of that cold outreach approach where, you know, we can tailor our message to anybody and everybody. And a lot of times people get into a generalist mindset rather than thinking, hey, if I could work with an ideal, you know, client, this is exactly what my relationship would be like with a hiring manager. This is how they would interview. This is how we would write the job description. This is how, you know, we would go through the offer together. really defining what ideal looks like for you, and stop becoming an order taker and start leading your market, is what that would look like. Okay. So I have to get clarity on what my ideal customer is. What's happening, for example, in a Fortune 100 company and their hiring and recruiting challenges is truly an apple and an orange as to what's happening with that small to medium sized company. And to be really good and to stand out in the marketplace, you need to be able to tap into your market's pains and problems. You need to talk about to your clients, you need to be articulate their challenges with hiring and recruiting better than they can. And that's going to be different. There's subtle differences based off of who you're connecting with. But more importantly, going back to your market, the more clear your market is, the more clear you can create your message. And when you have a clear message, then that's how people engage. So if you're out there already and you're kind of playing this game and trying to use digital to differentiate yourself, but you're not seeing the results, then what I'd have you do first is really check in, and is, are you actually speaking to a specific audience, right? So for me, I'm always speaking to independent and boutique recruiting agency owners. That's who my message is for. If you're watching this video, you're probably like, yeah, okay, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because I'm speaking clearly to your challenges, your pains, your problems. Do they all make sense for everybody in every stage? Of course not. That's why there's different layers and different levels of marketing based off of, pain problem awareness. Okay. But if you're a independent recruiter or a boutique agency, like I said, you have a really good idea that my marketing and my messaging is built specifically for you. You are my ideal customer. Okay. So what does your ideal client look like? Is it geographical location? Are you going to niche yourself down based off of industry? Are you going to niche yourself down based off of job title, based off of department, based off of function? There's a lot of different ways to do it. But the key here has nothing to do, again, with your ability to recruit these positions, but more to communicate at scale to your market. And when I say communicate at scale, that has to do with creating content and being able to put together campaigns that are going to be relevant to your audience so that you get them to engage. So that's the very first key component, is a very clear client avatar and knowing who your ideal customer is. Now, once you have your ideal customer, that allows us to truly build a differentiator that is going to, impact that customer, a differentiator that's truly going to, be seen as a unique advantage. And everybody out there, every recruiter out there, whether you believe it or not, you have a uniqueness about you. You have a unique advantage that you can describe, but that becomes really powerful when your prospect sees that you have a unique advantage and they know that that unique advantage is specifically for them. Okay. And that's really where a lot of people get into, when they get into marketing, they start talking about the features of their business. Oh, we will have you, we have a huge database of candidates. We, only send 85% of our applicants over that are qualified. All of these are nice features, but what your client wants to know is, what is the benefit to them? Okay. And that's how you really want to start looking at your unique advantage, is what are the things that are unique to you that also apply to that specific marketplace that they're going to find unique. And so what I recommend is kind of just going through and tapping into 3 different uniques, really based off of, one, your character, your experience, your connections. Those are great ways to, share how you're unique, how you're unique. Okay. And that's basically what you want to be able to do and build based off of, again, your ideal client. So when we combine our ideal client avatar as well as our uniqueness and make our uniqueness really apply to being a benefit to them, now we're really building a strong differentiator so we can stand out and really become the relevant recruiter in the marketplace. Okay. Now, once you understand that, then what you want to do is you want to start working on a very basic, positioning statement, if you will. And a positioning statement is really, just telling your market where you want to stand in the eyes of your market. How do you want your market to view you? Do you want to be, the Walmart? Do you want to be the low price leader in the market? That's the positioning that Walmart's trying to have. They're trying to position themselves in your mind that, hey, if you come to Walmart, you're going to get great deals and low prices. Okay. Amazon, you're going to get something delivered to your doorstep, right? So what is your unique differentiator? What is your positioning statement? And this can be something as simple as, I help recruiters build out an automated lead generation system by leveraging the power of the relevant recruiter method. Okay. So there's something unique there. I'm calling out my target market. I'm educating my target market on exactly where I'm at. and what type of impact I can have on their business. Okay. So you want to be able to create a positioning statement or a help statement that is really going to share very clearly with your market how you can help them or how you want them to view you in the marketplace. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you what this looks like. Okay. And this is very basic. There's really not a whole lot more to standing out and becoming relevant in the marketplace, just from a foundational presence. Okay. There's a lot more that we can do with our activity. And, we're going to follow up with some trainings after this one to talk about how we take this and put this on steroids. But right now, what you're looking at is just simply through your digital presence. How do I stand out through just somebody coming to a social media profile, for example? Okay. So once you have your ideal customer, once you put together, and understand, 3 to 5 unique things about you that really can apply to that customer. Okay. And I want to kind of dive in on that. You can have, 2 things that your competitors are going to have, but you really don't want all 3 things that your competitors are going to have. So it's important that you do some market research there so that you can really look at how you're going to be able to stand out. Okay. And then that third thing ultimately becomes, creating that positioning statement. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here and we'll walk you guys through exactly how we can do that. So perfect. Go ahead. All right. So, well, I'm actually watching myself live. This is actually on my profile, which is really cool. I've never seen that before. So anyways, what we've got going on here in my LinkedIn headshot is this is the place where I'm going to go ahead and put my positioning statement. Okay. So a lot of folks right here, what they do is they just put president of XYZ company, recruiter, founder, right? If you're doing that, you're just really leaving a lot on the table. You're not taking advantage of your complete digital real estate. Okay. And the way that LinkedIn really wants you to utilize your profile, the way you're taught most of the time, is more advantageous for a candidate in the marketplace than it is actually for a prospective client. And if you turn this page, your LinkedIn page, into more of a sales page, that's actually, if you read and go through my page as I'm going to walk you through, you're going to see it's really written not about me, but it's written towards my market, tapping into some of your pains, problems, and some of the opportunities out there, right? So, creator of the relevant recruiter method, helping recruiting/search professionals keep a loaded pipeline of meaningful conversations with clients and candidates. Okay. So this right here, the relevant recruiter method, is the methodology that I've developed. That is a huge part of my differentiator. Okay. That's a conversation for another day, but just on that, building out yourself, your own process, your own system, your own methodology can be a great source of differentiation. Okay. So this is the first part. You're going to want to make sure you've got a good headshot. I feel like that's pretty obvious, making sure that you've got, a good headline here. And then as we scroll down, you want to make sure you're creating content. If you're not, that's definitely something you want to do. But you want to make sure that your featured list is kind of sharing your story. So I've got some client testimonials here. I've got my podcast. I've got some hosts, just so people can get to know me. But right here, as we scroll down, you've got your own about section. Okay, this about section, what I'm going to encourage you to do is exit this about section and really get us into something that's tied towards your market and speaking to your candidates. So you can notice that it has nothing to do with, hi, I'm Donnie, I've been in digital marketing for X amount of years, blah, 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 and much more about, hey, tired of not getting responses from qualified candidates. You wish you could reach candidates faster. Are you not sure where your next client is coming from after you fill your existing roles? If so, read on, right? So I'm talking to my market. I'm talking about some of the pain points that are in the current times, okay? And then through here, I'm going to tap into, again, some more pain points, introduce my methodology, and then I have a call to action here, which is basically to join in on my my longer training, right? And then we also have people that can be able to call right from this page right here. So that's basically what I'd recommend that you do with your profile. I think a lot of you watching know the basics of filling out the rest of your experience and things like that. The other thing that I think is critically important, if you're not doing it, is asking for recommendations. Okay, so I've got recommendations from my clients here that people can go out and look at. Having them on profiles is a start. Again, we'll talk about in another training how you can continue to leverage that. So that's basically really how we want to do. Let's shoot, 24. here. Like, hey, what's up? If you guys are enjoying this, I would love it. Give me a like. I would love it. That's pretty fun. So that's the whole you bring all this online. Okay. Now, what you want to understand here, what are the benefits for you? What is the purpose of you take time to create content, to really focus on your ideal customer and things like that? The first thing is it allows you to cut through the noise. Okay. When you stand out and you differentiate, you're going to get more responses from both your clients and your candidates. You're going to get more responses from the top of the market, the best clients and the best candidates. Again, if I'm a commodity, here's John, the next recruiter, versus holy shit, here's Tom Caravella. He owns the MSL recruiting market, right? Completely different thing in how you want to be viewed in the market. Okay. So that's the first thing, is it allows you to cut through the noise. Okay. Like I said, you're going to get the top quality clients and candidates reaching out to you. And there's a big opportunity for the inbound part, right? People reaching out to you when you stand out in the marketplace, where all your business is just based off of grunt, effort, hustle, grind. It's exhausting, right? But when I can get people reaching out to me, that's one of the key benefits of being able to stand out and become the relevant recruiter in your market. You're going to be able to increase your fees because, again, I'm not just viewed as, hey, I just provided the same recruiting service as everybody else. People are going to see how you're different prior to ever working with you. And that's a key component and a key benefit of being able to, stand out and differentiate yourself, is really increase those fees. You're going to be able to eliminate those revenue gaps, right? Because we're going to be able to get more consistency, more demand. When I've got more consistency, more demand, I can eliminate the revenue gaps of kind of the traditional hustle, because I should be able to get more consistent lead flow. Okay. And the last thing, and I think this is the most important thing, and I started off with it, is so many recruiters pride themselves on being busy. And there's a big difference between busy and chasing and hustling job orders versus being efficient and driving and increasing revenue by partnering and building partnerships with your ideal clients, being viewed as a valued resource to your clients, being viewed as the relevant authority in your clients. When you get all of these things right, those are all the business benefits. But when you get these things right, it trickles down into your personal life. You get more freedom, more money to do the things that you want to do with your family, and deliver more impact to your industry. So if you feel like you're playing a little bit small right now, and if you feel like you are really good at recruiting, but you just don't have the ability to get that message out, I want to invite you to a free strategy session with me, where I'll help you get clarity on your ideal customer, how you can communicate your message to that customer, how we can ultimately turn on some lead flow and start building awareness towards these customers and get consistent client intake going on, so that you can become the most relevant recruiter in your market and ultimately make yourself recession proof. When you know how to have your own system in place, it's amazing what you can create for yourself. When you have a system in place, you can create demand. When you have your system in place, you can fire clients. When you have a system in place, you eliminate those revenue gaps. So if you're ready now, comment below and I'll reach out to you. If you don't want to comment, that's fine. Send me a direct message, whether you're watching this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Send me a direct message. Let's get on the phone. It's a 100% free call. There's no pressure. If at the end of the call we feel like there's a fit to work together, we'll talk about it. But if not, take the advice I give you. I've talked to thousands of recruiters over the years. I've worked specifically and had my hands on hundreds of recruiters' businesses over multiple industries, and we've got proven strategies that work. So before it's too late, before this market truly does slow down, get ahead of it. This is Donnie Gupton. We'll talk to you soon.